Hey everyone, this is Luke again, and I can't believe about what I'm gonna say, but this is the final, possibly final Ninjago predictions that I may make. Um, or at least the last one in this series, which I never thought I'd uttered those words out of my mouth, but here we are. This is it. The ending is upon us. And as you can see, I'm kind of out of breath just because I can't fathom it right now. But this is going to be my thoughts on what I think the finale is going to be like for the ending of Crystalized and potentially setting up the new 2023 Ninjago series called United. So let's get started. So obviously we have Lloyd. Lloyd is pretty much a main focal point of Crystalized, obviously. Obviously, we're going to start with, I've made many videos about this, but his story with Harumi. What is going to happen between Lloyd and Harumi? Now, some people say that they would get together as a couple. Some people would say that they would still fight, with Harumi maybe being an anti-hero, or Harumi joins the team. But honestly, I think that Harumi and Lloyd will just go their separate ways, and that's it. You know, um, if not, maybe having Harumi die again, which I guess is a really weird thing to do, because why bring her back to just kill her off again? That's kind of weird. But at the same time, that would make sense, especially considering this is the series finale, so it only makes sense to do that. But at the same time, they could absolutely keep Harumi alive, but just not really interact with Lloyd anymore, I guess. And so Lloyd can finally get some closure to this horrendous storyline of not letting go of Harumi and finally just lessening and possibly eliminating the guilt inside of him. And speaking of Lloyd, I think I mentioned this in a previous theory, but I think he's probably going to be one of, if not the only survivor of Crystalized. I mean, he is the main guy, so it makes sense for him to survive out of everybody. I just I just could see all the Lloyd haters be like, "Oh, of course Lloyd survives the end because it's Lloyd, of course." But I think he's gonna teach the new generation of ninjas. He's essentially gonna take up what not sensei. I always keep saying sensei. It's just so ingrained into my mind that I never call him master. But he's gonna take up what Master Wu was, um, which is gonna lead into the next thing. Master Wu and Pixel, at least, are going to die. Master Wu is practically guaranteed. I mean, there is the Avengers Endgame connection, not only with the poster, but with the positions of the poster. I'm not sure a lot of people noticed that, but Wu's position and relevance to the actual Endgame poster is Iron Man. And obviously, if you've watched Endgame, you've probably seen clips of it on YouTube everywhere. He dies. Iron Man does die at the end of Avengers Endgame. Sorry to spoil you if you haven't seen it. Um, I know it's a big box office hit, but he dies. But I also heard that Pixel's positioning is the same as Black Widow, and Black Widow also dies in Avengers Endgame. So obviously that would make sense, especially considering there was a tweet that Tommy said saying not all kisses are good ones in reference to Zane and Pixel, which would mean that probably Zane and Pixel would share probably one last kiss before Pixel's untimely death. Um, but now let's move on to who else might die. Some people, I remember some people saying maybe the council members. I don't think so, because I think Pythor's, if anyone should survive, it's most likely going to be Pythor, because Pythor is always that one villain that always gets away. So I don't know if they will be killed off. beats me, so I don't really have anything to comment on that. But the Overlord is definitely going to get beaten for a third time. He is definitely getting beaten for a third time. And this is his fourth time trying to attack Ninjago. You're forgetting, people forget that the first time he did it was pretty much before Ninjago was Ninjago, which was against first Spinjitzu Master, which ended in a stalemate. Then there was Lloyd, which he lost. Then Zane, which he lost again. And now against the 4 OG Ninja plus Lloyd, and maybe to an extent Nia, if she participates, which would be his fourth attempt, and he would lose again. So he has never won. 4 attempts, and yet has never won. What is he, the Buffalo Bills? If you know your football stats, you would know what I'm talking about. But speaking of the ninja, the 4 OG ninja, this is probably the one which has been talked about the most. They're gonna form into the Golden Ultra Dragon, or I think that's what it's called, Golden Ultra Dragon or something like that. It's basically this super OP thing that can only be accomplished by doing some selfless act, and the way they do it, I'm pretty sure was mentioned before in that Two Truths One Lie thing. The lyrics of the Weekend Whip: jump up, kick back, whip around, spin. There you go. And then they merge to create their own dragons, and yeah, they finally defeat the Overlord. But they can't just unmerge. You thought it might have been that simple, but it's not. Because you see, they can't unmerge. They're practically stuck there forever. So, it's kind of like what Nia had last season, where they say it's an irreversible thing before, Nia found a way to reverse it. But this one I actually think cannot be reversed. It's just way too powerful to even think about irreversing. So Lloyd is practically the only one of the ninja with maybe Nia as well, if you still count Nia as a ninja, which, she kind of left the team. Well, not as a ninja. She just basically doesn't count as the main ninja anymore. He's the only one of the still remaining 5 ninja to actually survive the events of Crystalized. I also heard some people saying Garmadon might die as well, which that's interesting, because I knew Master Wu and Pixel were probably going to die. But Garmadon? I thought Garmadon might stay around, but now that I think about it, yeah, it probably would, because he's older than Wu. So it would only make sense for him to pass away. My theory is that the Golden Ultra Dragon takes away all darkness and evil. Basically unites the two sides together. Light and the dark together. And everything seems perfectly happy. Lloyd goes up to his father, gives him a big old hug, and everything seems happy. But then Garmadon just collapses. He collapses on the ground, and then he dies. Now, what from? I'm not sure yet, because I don't know how that would work, but I'm thinking maybe, like, he needed the Oni part of him to survive, and now that, since that is gone, since the Golden Ultra Dragon sucked it out of him, he basically can't live without it. He basically is unable to exist afterwards. Now, you might be thinking, well, wouldn't that make Lloyd unable to exist? Well, I think Lloyd might be spared for some reason. I'm not sure. But I think if they are going to kill Garmadon off, I think they should turn him good, but then do like a little old bait and switch where everything seems fine, but then they just kill him off straight after, just to sort of punch you in the gun, be like, "Oh, why'd you tease us like that?" But how would this lead up to United? Now, there has been no evidence as to how the series would be animated, but a lot of speculation has been made that it might be edited in 2D rather than 3D. And this made me think back to a series of tweets by Ninjago writer Chris Wyatt. I remember he said something during when the Golden Legacy shorts were coming out a couple of years ago. He said one of them might be considered canon, whereas the other ones not. Everyone kind of assumed, including myself, that it was either Sweating to the Goldies because of the Nauticon mention, which I obviously didn't think was going to happen, or Golden Hour because of the Hands of Time connection. But what if we were wrong this entire time? What if it's the other one that most people thought other people thought? That's right. I'm talking about Golden Legend. Golden Legend could set the precedent for Ninjago United, set in a dystopic future where everything is in ruin, no one is there, and it's just hell on earth. And then you see that wandering samurai, who is the bad guy, and then you see a dragon. That dragon, I believe, is the Golden Ultra Dragon. Hence why this dragon is around the Golden Ninja statues. So, I think that new series will be animated in 2D. That's just a theory of mine, so don't take my word for this. And it'll be set in a dystopic future with at the very least, a 10-year plus time lapse. It has to be at least 10 years in order for it to make any bit of sense. But I think that's what will happen. The ninja finally stop the Overlord, but they can't unmerge out of their golden dragon form. They're practically stuck there, and Lloyd is pretty much the only person to survive. And yeah, that's it. Lloyd's lost everything. His home, his family, everything. This man needs therapy. No wonder there's a ship out there called Lloyd X Therapy. But that is overall my final prediction of what I think is going to happen at the end of Ninjago Crystalized, ending this 11-year saga, and potentially setting up the new series, Ninjago United, in 2023. What do you think might happen? And I know that this video is going to be uploaded possibly during the time of the release of the Ninjago episodes, so if you post any spoilers or give any hints, I will remove your comment, because I, at the time of uploading, will probably not have seen these episodes, and I don't want to be spoiled, okay? Because this is such a monumental thing, so please, for the love of all Ninjago fans out there, do not spoil the ending to Ninjago Crystalized. If you know what happens, keep your mouth shut. Don't give any hints. Don't give any clues. Just either agree or disagree with what I say, and don't just drop any hints, because I will remove these comments, because I don't want to be spoiled. But anyways, what do you guys think might happen to cap off the 11-year saga of Ninjago? Let me know in the comments down below. But anyways, I hope you guys liked this video. Give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the show by clicking on the red subscribe button and click on the notification bell to receive every video that I will upload. And I'll see all you folks in the next video. Bye-bye!